If you're struggling to start the ball on the line of intent, i.e. towards your target, it's more than likely to do with how your engine is working, how your body is working. And it's a little bit of a complex machine because there's so many different moving parts. The shoulder, for example, it's got almost pretty much 360 degrees of motion. It can go anywhere. The hips can turn 90 degrees, shoulders can turn 90 degrees for most people. But in golf, it's a little bit complex and complicated. So I'm going to tell you the right move to make, but I don't want you to think about it, especially when you're out on the golf course. Feel it and practice it in slow motion on your own, especially if this happens to you, but please don't take it onto the golf course. Because if you do and think about this and think about the motion, we're gone, we're struggling. We need to feel it and get used to it, and then it will come. Then it will come as more slow motion feeling swings we do to enable this to occur. And the most important thing is that we don't do it out on that golf course, because if we do, we're going to struggle. Here's what we need to try and do. So when we're coming into the golf ball, let's say for example, we've got a great backswing, we're on playing, happy days. The problem is, if we don't allow our lower body to turn from there, we lose a lot of control over that golf club. Because the lower body stops moving, something's got to keep on moving. It's usually the hands and the arms. Now sometimes, again, yes, that can be a good thing for a lot of golfers out there. But here's the reality for what a lot of golfers, especially I see this more in lower handicappers as well, they stop the lower body so the hands and arms keep on going. You usually turn that club face closed, and usually we see that ball going over to the left-hand side. But what we need to try and do in this case here is feel like the lower body is turning. The lower body takes control of that path and that face of that golf club. Okay, so when we turn our lower body along with the motion of that golf club, we control the path and the face better, as opposed to the path and the face being here, there, and everywhere. Okay, here's the little caveat. The problem is, what you've got to try and do is make sure the upper body isn't doing the work as well. So we don't want the upper body and the lower body turn at the same time. We need to make sure mechanically, here's what the engine needs to do, the upper body stays behind, i.e. pointed out in front of us, and the lower body separates on the way down. So the upper body stays pointing at the target or right of target, and the lower body points left ideally, and then everything can come through as a motion. I see a lot of golfers I see out there do exactly that, do exactly the turn of the shoulders and the lower body at the same time. It's absolute carnage then. The ball can go literally anywhere. There has to be a level of separation on the downswing of the lower body and the upper body. You look at people at impact, you look at great golfers at impact. Will Zalatoris has been a really good classic modern example here of a golfer who's at impact, just before impact, shoulders pointing straight to slightly right, and whose hips are wide open. It's a huge amount of separation, and that's one of the key movements to get that feeling, that path and that face are bang on. So please, by all means, try this at home. Do this in slow motion. Feel that turn of that lower body, that separation of that upper body, and that separation of that lower body and that upper body. Just doing literally what we feel is literally nothing, okay, to allow that path and that face to be more controlled. Please don't think about that on the golf course though. Please don't think about that on the golf course. Otherwise you'll be waving the white flag by hole 3. You will massively struggle. We've got to get that feeling, that separation, as opposed to the upper body and the lower body doing the work at the same time. Hope this helps. Let me know how you go on. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for me, please.